Hey guys, good to see you. So this morning I'm with my friend Isolde over here, who I haven't seen in like 6 years or 7 years maybe it is. Anyways, I had this idea that Isolde could help us because she's a floral designer and she's going to do a display in front of her daughter's house, a Christmas display. And I thought you'd like to see how she puts the pots together and her thinking around displaying, because she's so gifted and experienced in floral design. So I'll turn around the camera. I'll turn around the camera and you can see her process here. So here we go. So let me show you our setup here. You can see the front door. And there's Isolde. She's digging around in the pots.
I should have
and she's
more soil in this, but doesn't matter. So if you have pots that already have soil in it still, it's a good idea. Actually, the soil should be this high then, just like you would have planted. And if you don't have soil, then just use oasis or put soil in a pot. But if you have existing pots that you've had your summer planters in, just take those, and of course if they're frozen right now, then take them in for a day and thaw them out or pour warm water on it. Mm-hmm. And so because you can easily just stick your greenery in the soil. But right here I'm going to just put some more soil, of course, but that's no problem. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to prepare a pot here with oasis since I don't have the soil. And but the oasis you should soak before, and make sure you have oasis or the sponge that is for fresh flowers and not for dry flowers, because then it's like styrofoam and it never soaks in the water. So
it doesn't hold the water.
That's
if you
right.
have just the
yeah. No, it will never soak up, because there is such a thing on the market too. And oh sorry, I must have just held this in front. So you have to make sure it's tight and not just loose and wiggly, because once you put the branches in, that one is a bit
yeah, you don't want them to fall out.
just you could always put newspaper on the bottom too if it's a bigger pot. That's what I do too. Newspaper on the crunch newspaper on the bottom, and then put the oasis on top.
Okay.
There's many ways of doing it, yeah. Or leaves or whatever, yeah.
So it doesn't take them long to be soaked, right? Like you just...
It takes a while. Right now it's only wet outside, but I put them in water last night. Or you can put them in water like an hour before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Isolde's just stealing from some soil from her daughter's garden. You're just filling up the pots a wee bit, hey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I'm really making you do all the work.
Don't worry.
The cameraman has an easy job.
If you prefer, like, let's say for here, because you wouldn't need a huge pot like this up here.
Right.
So if you prefer to do something lower, you can definitely use a pot like this.
Right.
Or just in it, like I talked before about an existing planter that's smaller, like a nice ceramic or like a pottery, whatever. Mm-hmm. And you can use that one too, and just make like a lower arrangement. Mm-hmm. It doesn't always have to be tall ones. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's, for example, that's an idea too. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so let's put my oasis in here.
So you're just putting it right on top of the soil.
I could have packed more soil, but I didn't want to dig up the whole garden. And, yeah. Second piece. the other thing too is make sure you have your soil or oasis level to this or a little higher, but not low down, because
Oh.
otherwise everything, it's harder to put the branches in to go down. It's just with the fresh flower arrangement too. You always have to
To make sure it's a little bit
kinda
higher.
level or a bit lower.
Okay.
Because I can show you quick, once you have the branches, because it's nice when you can stick them sideways so they come over the pot a bit.
Right,
But
they're
if you
draping.
have the oasis down, you can never do that.
Right.
Unless you have nice curved branches that are automatically grown like that and come down.
Right.
So that I just want to make sure everything's good, because nothing worse is when you have your arrangement you're doing your arrangement and then everything starts falling apart before you finish, right?
Yes. So, preparation is key, Isolde.
So there is a lot, you see a lot of places they have like birch poles or birch little trunks kind of. Those you have to plant in first.
Okay.
Make sure they're planted in secure, because once you have the greenery in it, you're not gonna get them in anymore, or
Okay.
they won't hold. And I'm gonna pour some water in here, because after all, because then all the greenery takes the moisture too.
Right.
Right in here too. Oh my goodness, I need a leak. Oh my. There we go. You can always water it after too, but
Yeah.
eventually it'll freeze,
Yeah.
and then it's just everything frozen, but it'll keep nicely during the winter.
Do you usually add like some more water later on? Like, do you
Yeah,
fit?
sometimes my own I water, but once it's frozen, it's frozen.
Yeah.
You can't really
Do anything?
do much, yeah.
Okay.
And the moisture from the air or the snow, if you have it outside, not on the roof, then it'll eventually have snow on it anyway.
Right.
So, and so I was talking about the birch branches or the poles, but I'm going to do red branches, sort of like, and that's another thing. Today, usually I get the greenery from Home Depot or wherever, and like bunches of cedar, bunches of pine, and or spruce. But because of the flooding in BC, nothing's been coming in yet. So I'm pretty sure once you have a house and garden, you always have branches like from a tree. For example, I have blue spruces at home, so I cut branches like that. I cut juniper and these two from a bush, from the born bush, or pine. All those branches, they're all wintergreen. You can definitely use. Yeah.
And these are all from your garden,
Right.
not the neighbor's garden, just your own.
That's right. Yeah. Not the neighbors. Well, if you have branches that hang over from a tree from a neighbor, why not?
It's
Just
fair picking.
Trim them down. They always grow again. There's no harm done to the tree, believe me. So we're starting in the back side, and make sure the branches are in, not just like a half an inch. They have to be in, so when it's stormy, they're not going to come out. And that's what I wanted to do now. Determine a bit the height. With these ones. So the tall branches, you're not going to put right in front. You put them towards the back.
Right, because you're not worried about them seeing so much the back side of the planter in this arrangement. You're worried more about the front
Yes,
side.
it goes against the wall. Of course, if it's a planter that you have, you're going to be seen from all,
All
all
sides.
sides. Then you make something roundish. Maybe in that kind of pot, for example, if it would sit here, then it would have to be nice each way.
Mm-hmm.
You could still have a bit of branches or something a bit taller in here, if you like, and just have it, all sides. Then you usually, with a smaller pot, of course, you take smaller branches. You're not going to have huge pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
All in relation to the pot
That's right.
size, yeah.
Mhm. So let me get to here.
So these are dogwood, I think, right?
That's right. What did I say? Viburnum dogwood, yes. There we go. It doesn't need lots. Often you can do just a nice arrangement with, it doesn't have to be overkill. So.
But it's nice to have the different textures. So when you're picking,
That's right. Yeah,
Mhm.
this is more kind of bluish and with the pine, the green. And when you buy the nice finer pine that's available, they often bend nicely.
yes,
They're always nice to go to the sides.
yes,
Even the cedar too. And the cedar's usually lighter green, just kind of like the juniper I brought.
mm-hmm.
Go. So, and if you see how it grows like this, even the blue spruce, let me show you another
Kind of
piece
droopy, you mean?
No, let me show you another piece. This one. You obviously see this is the front, or it grows like this, and this is the back side. So it would be advisable to put them in the way they grow, and so you can see it this way, not backwards. These are a bit bulky to work with and prickly, but they sure keep. They're amazing. They're just like, they will keep through the hardest winter. Maybe I should just turn it a little bit. They're a bit stubborn to work with too, but they're sure a good filler. If you have too many branches on the bottom, just trim them off so it's easier to stick them in.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. It's like working your way forward, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to see if there's any. This one's bent. I would like to have a bit of branches that come over the pot. Like this. So
It's kind of hiding the
looks like
edge.
kind of natural, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is almost just like cedar.
Mm-hmm.
This one, although it does grow like this, but I think I want to take it like that because it's not so much of a backside like other ones. Let me try to see how that looks. There we go. Give it a bit of a droop. And smaller stuff you can just put in as a filler. It's almost full already. Okay, that's a good one. And one right here. And just like an artist, florists do that too. They step back and look at it from far. Okay, it looks like it could have one branch over there. Let's see what we have here. my cedars. Maybe this one? Yes, why not? Okay. It's gotta sit. There we go. Alrighty.
Oh.
It's just almost full. He's a bit of a bendy thing, but it doesn't have, it's, after all, it's all natural things we have, and that's how they're grown, and it doesn't have to look stiff. Just put one more to give it a bit. There. Maybe. Sometimes you add one on one side, just needs another one on another side. So, there, I think after this, doesn't have to be. There, because we want to have a bit of room. You could actually do just a planter like this, just branches and greenery,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine too. So we can add like, oh yeah, and I wanted to show you. So if you have, depends on maybe your color of the door or wherever the arrangement's gonna sit. So you could do like this silvery look.
Yes.
So maybe then you don't have the red branches. You take these, silvery look, and this combo, natural pine cones, more traditional, with the reds and the more natural. You could still put kind of like this.
Right in the front.
Yeah. You can still add a bit of glitz to it if you want to add something like, for example, like a bit of gold or so.
Oh, at the bottom. Mhm.
Yeah. I'm gonna put it in properly, but just to
give you an idea.
Yeah. So this is the more kind of traditional look, or even just pine cones and maybe a bit of glitz and just greens. Definitely use something like this too, or other dried things that you could work in it.
Mhm.
But I find this, because it has this bluish hue, this would fit better with the silver. Go to Michael's and buy a spray can like a gold.
Okay.
You could spray a gold, of course,
Okay.
or silver.
Right.
Either way, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you already have the blue of the spruce, so
Right.
so
That's
you
right.
like adding that in. You know, it's kind of the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
A little much.
Yeah, it doesn't really
Yeah.
do much of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've used those last year, and I see some birds got added or something. But
They thought they were real.
yeah. And often when you buy these branches, they're packaged up like flat like this. You have to give them a bit of a bend or fluff them up. Just when you get your Christmas tree, your fake Christmas tree, you have to fluff it up.
Yeah.
That's what I always say. So. Here. And
That looks so good.
my berries actually don't all match, but after all, it's still a bit of them. Should look a bit natural too. Since they're nice and long, we should have them above, not hidden right down in there. I mean, if you have short berries, like something like this, you can definitely put them this way too. Why not? Like,
Right.
go, actually I might just keep them this way. Oh yeah, I haven't. I can show you how to, you could use a glue gun or wire them. So, is this alright? Like against the white wall
Yeah.
here? So, slip your wire underneath of some of these and then try to twist the wires together tight in the back. If you don't have long wires, you have a shorter wire, you can always like tie it right to one of the sticks here.
Oh, okay.
Even this wire, I think I need to have something added to it. I may just tie them to one of the pieces of either stick or spruce here.
Right, just
And
to
you
give
can
it a bit
just
of...
twist it around, yeah, twist it around tight of one of the, and it'll stands nicely. And it's, where's my second one? 2, let's get 2 or 3. And just like in floral design, it's always nice to have a group. Unless you want to put one here and one here, but I find it's nice to have a grouping of the same. They don't have to be dead center. It could be like this. Let me wire those ones too.
Everybody's going to want you to come over to their house, Isolde.
There we go. I love working with natural stuff. It's nice. Even this little bits of stuff can stay on. Moss or lichens, whatever it is. There. And he's gonna have to get attached right here. Yeah, it's good to wear gloves because everything's a little bit prickly for that season. There we go. And number 3. And the nice thing with this, if you step back and you say, oh, don't like this together like this, you pull it out and then put it somewhere else. It's like, it's not glued in for permanently. But I just think I need a bit of more greens or something in there. This way.
Just to fill in the gaps. You're
Yeah.
trying to fill in the holes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How about one of these too? There we go. And all this is very flexible, so. Now, step back a bit. So you can kind of play around with it, maybe here. If that's better. And you all have to kind of point towards the center too, like everything you stick in. Because if you start sticking in things like, let me see, that is looking another way.
Oh, I see.
It's,
They have to go in
so-
the same direction.
Yeah, to a center point.
Oh.
I mean, not every stem is going to end up in the same center point, but still, it has to go into, so it's like if I can show you, if I put this in like this,
Oh.
See how off it looks?
Yes.
It's so that means this eventually this has to just go into a center point in a way. I'm frantically looking for sticks, so I'm just gonna take this one and add my pine cone to this and cut a nice end. And there we go. Because I want to plant him so he doesn't fly out. So there is the group of pine cones.
Wow.
And this bow here is actually just put in here, not secured yet. Let me show you. Where is that? Oh, I could also take red if you want more pow. You could do red too, which is probably just as nice. I may
More
just
pow?
do-
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, well. It's like more flash or more, you know.
I love it. I love it.
This is amazing stuff, believe me. You can just you bunch it up a bit and just in it goes. You could even take now a piece of a bit of this stronger wire. It could be stronger than this. Just make like a loop or like, yeah, and just poke it through it. There we go. And tuck it in.
So then it looks like a bow.
Yes.
Oh,
I
wow.
think I go for the red. It might be just as.
So it's a little more,
Yeah, because
Pow.
this one, it has a bit of gold hue. It works too. Or you can have this kind of stuff that's more goldish. But I don't have any of that. Or, I just found something.
oh,
You can also add a lantern, maybe this white. I'm not sure about this one, but then you have to secure it. If you have a good bamboo stick or another stronger pole stick of something, you would have to secure it here.
okay.
But this is something. Oh, sorry. I'm just gonna set it in for now a bit, but
You get the
it would
idea.
have to be kind of straight, yeah,
Yeah.
to get an idea. There's lots of things you can add or just leave out too. It doesn't have to.
Mm.
Or these ones too. If you have
Oh, some poinsettia.
yeah, you can add something like this to it too. Oops. And make like maybe 2, 3 as a group.
Right.
And let me, I'll show you this one. There's some more here. Even 2. It doesn't have to be. You can also just use poinsettias and greenery and pine cones. There's so many options to this. And
And that's what I actually remember about you, Isolde, is mixing different things. Like you use silk flowers, you use real flowers, you mix it all together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As long as when you have it in the outdoors,
Yeah.
some of these I noticed they disintegrate. Some of these berries, but they have kind of like styrofoam in it,
Yeah.
so they should hold up. But some of the artificial stuff can either bleach from the sun or just like from the weather. It gets weathered out. And the nice thing with this, because you have the greenery that lasts a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
And after Christmas, if it's too Christmassy, you just take those out. You take those out and maybe the ribbon or so, and you can still leave it as a wintergreen
Right.
arrangement.
Because it'll
And,
last into the next.
It might
yeah.
be frozen in, though, so then you just have to maybe clip it off or
Right.
break it off or something.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
well, let me see. I thought I had a. Oh. This is another ribbon I'm going to use somewhere else, but just to give you an idea, you could also use instead of this fellow, but I'm going to just leave it here for now. But tuck him in and have the ribbons kind of flowing down.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It can be more pizzazz or less pizzazz, whatever.
or pop. So is this is this netting that you get on a roll or something like
It does
that?
come on a roll.
So you got this at Canadian Tire?
Yes, I bought this at Canadian Tire, or you can buy it at Michael's too. It comes in the big long roll,
Okay.
or it comes in the short roll too.
Nice.
So this I was thinking of using if we've done the glitzy stuff,
Yeah.
like the white
I
and
love
the
that
pine
one.
cones with the white on it too.
Isolde, I think
So,
I have
yeah.
to do that at my place because my house is blue. Okay, so you're going to show us
So,
how to make a bow,
yeah.
Isolde? Oops, run away. So that's not necessarily with wire. That bow, it doesn't have wire in it that you have in
This
your
one?
hand.
I'm going this one?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have. That's
Okay.
actually a back draw. But anyway, we'll try our best.
Okay.
So you start with, if you want a tail, if you don't want a tail, then you don't need to, but you squish it between thumb and index finger and make a loop. So this ribbon is one-sided. You cannot use it this way or that way. So you always have to keep the nice side out. And squish it again. And then take another loop up. It's almost like a figure A, up and down and up and down. But make sure you squish it. If you just have a flat, you don't have the nice center of a bow.
Okay.
So just let me take these gloves off. Sorry. There we go. And up again. The nice thing is when they have wires, you can really style the bow
Yeah.
better. But it's a fairly rigid ribbon, so it's not too bad. I didn't realize that ribbon had the light or white interior. But anyway, we'll work with it now.
You get the idea.
So yeah. You don't need a huge amount of loops. This is different. Actually, there's not much left, so I'm going to just make a small one. Try not to let go. And then I always switch hands. If you're left-handed, you just have to do it the other way. So you see the center here? That's where you put your wire over it. And then get the wire to the back. Kind of same as I did with the pine cones. And then tie it tight. Nothing worse if it's loose and you start to kind of pull on it a bit, it's gonna start flopping apart. So just tie it tight like this. And then you have your wires. You can stick it in or tie it onto a stick. It all depends what. Go. We can still form it a bit. Like I said, with the, if you have the wires, then you can. But this one works not bad at all. There we go. So you could, let me just pull this out, it's not in there right now. Add something like this to it too.
Right.
Yeah,
That looks good too.
so yeah.
That's a little bling.
Bling? Yes.
Yeah, bling.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But do you like the red better? Are you going to go for the red?
Oh, sometimes I just don't know myself. I think if we have that gold in there now, we almost need a bit of something else gold, or a few pine cones that would have like gold on it, or this is something you could.
Right. You need to bring in the gold in a different area.
Yeah, I would kind of say so. Yeah, yeah. Something like this, or if you have a few gold balls from a, Christmas tree, you could, with the glue gun, either glue them in, or if you can wire them. But sometimes they start coming apart.
Right.
That could be. Or that we already have the red berries. I don't have any gold berries with me now, but something like that has a bit of sheen. Of course, this doesn't work now. That
Yep.
would be okay with the silvery. That would something like this.
Right.
Just,
If you put it with the silver bow.
yes, yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. But gold ones like this could go with the gold ribbon like that.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
mean, even with this now added to it, it's not too bad. It's really this, what you like and taste too.
So Isolde's still fiddling, but this is what she's got so far. Doesn't this look pretty?
But that's it. Otherwise, it's overkill.
So no more. You're done. I suppose that's hard for a florist to like say, okay, we're done.
No, it's just like it's an artist with painting. If you fiddle too much, then it gets worse. To show you quick how to do a door swag or a post swag, wherever you want to use it, or it can go on the wall too, wherever you want to hang something.
Nice.
Instead of a wreath or an arrangement.
Okay.
So then it's good if you have like greenery, for example, like cedar that is like flat and long. Or the fine pine works too, but it has to be something longish, so you don't need too many pieces. You can really only have one or two, might even be enough. You can incorporate branches, since we used branches before, or you can leave them out, either way. And you kind of bunch it almost like a bouquet of flowers. Let me put this down first, because this is almost the last thing. And I get one more on top. Something's wrong here. Okay, there. It's best to tie it with wires, but you could also use garden twines, that like that brown or green stuff, as long as it's strong. And tie it tight. It has to be tight, otherwise, because eventually when the branches dry a bit and shrink, they get skinnier too, so
Right.
it has to hold together. Just go around a few times so it holds your bundle together.
Okay.
And I did start with a loose end so I can tie the ends. Okay. Oh yeah, and the big pine cones, which we don't have. So we wanted to put two nice big pine cones in here. But
So I
I'm
had the
gonna
sugar
just
pine ones.
do those big honking things. But anyway, it doesn't have to be. It
This
can
still
be
looks
like
good.
This. And since they're already on sticks, it's even better. Just kind of move them like this. So this whole thing you could actually easily do on a table, flat on a table, then you can kind of see maybe a bit better, or it's a bit easier on your hands and arms. So since we have the post right here, that's kind of what it's
The look like.
But since I put the bow here, you have to make sure it's not going to cover all your berries and everything. So now I added these 2 pine cones to it. That means you gotta, where's my wire? Here we go. Tie them on again too, then it's just more secure. 2-3 turn will be enough. And then I've already made a bow. That's usually kind of the last thing you put, almost the last thing. And it's on wires too. So let's see. You can still dress the bow or like put it in proper place once it hangs there. There, get a bit. I think that's. And the nice thing, even when you tie it, you can still, like I just did now, move the pine cones a bit closer down. I thought the bow would really, but the bow you can put right on top here. You don't have to sit it down here. So right here, and then I have some other pieces that I can just add a bit around it, or even right on top. What else is there? There we go. Just to make a proper ending. Could almost lie flat somewhere too, but like this, I'm aiming for something like that.
So Isolde's still fiddling with it, but
Sorry about that. I'm right here.
she's right here. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for coming, Isolde. That was great.
My
Great fun.
pleasure. I had lots of fun.
Okay, until the next time. Bye.
See you.